am Janelle Malloy. I'm a professor of medical physics at the University of Kentucky Department of Radiation Medicine. And I, along with my colleagues, have developed an innovation to make a quality assurance of radiation therapy faster and better. So, we all know cancer is an awful disease. A lot of us are going to be impacted by it. But a lot of patients who suffer from cancer can be treated with radiation. Now, radiation oftentimes is delivered using these large machines called linear accelerators. These things are complicated. Quite frankly, they're a little bit dangerous, but they're incredibly precise. Linear accelerator is shown here, and you can see that it's hitting the tumor tissue while it's avoiding the nice, normal, healthy tissue, which is what we want to do. What's the problem, though? This slide is deliberately complicated because the quality assurance procedures that we have to do are very complicated. All of those devices right there are the devices that we have to walk in and out of the room and set them up, and that's the time-consuming part of doing all of this quality assurance. Hospitals spend a lot of money buying these complicated pieces of equipment. All of these tables right here are the industry standards for the amount of QA data that you have to take. It's literally hundreds of separate measurements. And I have watched my staff spend 8 hours to complete these tasks. And so you can see why literally you might need a physicist in order to be able to do this. Well, the innovation that we have developed at the University of Kentucky is something that we're calling the QA solver. It takes all of those pieces of equipment that you saw and consolidates them into one device. And the big thing that that does is that it prevents people from having to go in and out of the room and saves a lot of time. It's going to save hospitals and clinics money because they're only buying one device instead of a whole bunch. And because it's easy to set up, it's a single device, and all of the data collection is automated and it's presented in a very visually accessible, intuitive manner. This can be done by, say, a radiation therapist rather than a costly and scarce medical physicist. So, what's the opportunity? As I said, in addition to saving hospitals and clinics money in terms of having to buy equipment and paying expensive people to do these things, because the data is collected automatically and presented intuitively, all of this data can be uploaded to the cloud. And because of that, a medical physicist does not have to physically be in the room taking this data, but they can be sitting here, maybe on the beach in Florida, reviewing the results from up in Idaho, Arizona, Kentucky. This whole concept is near and dear to my heart, and I'm glad that some of you already talked about the fact that we're here in Kentucky. We have some great medical centers, a lot of big cities. We also have a lot of rural areas, and we work with partners that have the money and they have a lot of the resources to deliver radiation therapy, but one of the hardest things that they face is getting medical physics support in order to maintain these machines. If you could allow these complicated machines have their quality assurance done by a qualified medical physicist who doesn't have to physically be there, that is a game changer in our field. We estimated that there's about a $825 million total addressable market in the US and expecting about a 20% growth by 2028. And that's only in the US. You start adding in global uses for this, and that number can become even larger. We have a few viable competitors out there, but none of them consolidate and integrate and allow the remote review like our device does. So obviously I'm going to give you a graph that shows all of the check marks in our in our column, right? I passed that one. All right, we have an awesome team. I put myself there. I'm the director of medical physics there, but the real reason that I'm important is because the entire medical physics staff at the University of Kentucky has helped to develop this and test this. We have multiple PhDs in medical physics, engineers, programmers. John Graff is our engineer who has been working with us for a couple of years now. Bill O'Brien is our marketing strategist. He's over here. And Dave Hassler is our CFO, who's done a lot of financial modeling for us. I need to wrap it up here. We've done proof of concept on all the components. This thing is real and it does work. We're filing an omnibus patent both internationally and in the US. And we are in negotiations with our first clinical partner, Medical Physics Private Practice Group down in Arkansas. So anyway, we would love to have somebody join us who has business expertise and a lot of passion. And I thank you.